a distraction.
There are several data points.
There are.
When sleep refuses to come, I think of our wedding night. How you welcomed me to the marital bed. How after, when you fell asleep, I lay there watching your delicate face. For all its beauty, I detested its fragility. A rage swelled up inside me. I abhorred that bed, how its softness threatened to swallow us up. And that room, the stench of incense, the fine embroidery of the drapes, all of it weak. I slipped from the bed, threw open the casement, and lay naked on the stone floor, determined to spurn all seductions of comfort. But when I woke the next morning, you lay beside me, naked as I in the cold. Your body, stretched beside mine, seemed chiseled from stone. I saw you wake, instantly alert, like an animal ready to strike. You said nothing. You did not have to. Already you had shown me beyond doubt that we were meant to be.
Okay.
Never does the sun show pity. And yet, when my wife died in birthing, and in dying ended the life of my child unborn, I pitied myself. My lord sensed this, but instead of casting me down for weakness, he cast upon me a radiant beam of honor. He ordered my kin buried in the sacred caves reserved for royals and heroes. Unimaginable. Never again would I doubt that I am the chosen of the sun. Never again would pity find a place in me. Not for myself or another. When I first set eyes on the buried shadow, I trembled. Was I not the chosen of the sun? A blazing light of faith to shred and scatter darkness? Was it not my place to destroy this devil? But High Priest Bahavas instructed me in the prophecy, and set right my frame of mind. The murder of the true Sun King broke the cosmic cycle short of completion. The whole world cast into darkness, doomed. To resume and turn the wheel of time would require more than sun and faith.
So who is
All
Helis?
forces must combine, all halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, night to day. Even a buried shadow wants the wheel to turn, for without a sun in the sky, there can be no shadow.
I assume he's like the leader of the Shadow Karja,
My
but
lord, the 13th king of the Karja Sundom was murdered. Cut down by cowards who mistook firm rule for madness. Ever the strong are beset upon by the weak. So he said, as the traitors launched their assault, as their cannons forged by Oseram filth toppled the battlements and burst the gates. I would have fought to the end. But it was his will, the will of the sun, that I lead the prince and queen into the west, to safety. My lord did not hesitate. He saw his fate. He looked into the sun, and he did not blink. With me, he sent kestrels, nobles, sun priests, and slaves. Killing all that stood in the way, I carved a path to sunfall. There, we joined others to gather the strength to take back our home. But our strength only faded, until the buried shadow was brought to light. So long as King Itamen languishes at sunfall, coddled by his mother, he will never learn the true lessons of the sun. I have tried to instruct him, but the shadow of his mother's influence is upon him. I took him to the palace balcony to behold an offering of sacrifice in the ring, but he showed no thirst for it. He averted his gaze. Look to the sun, I told him. Do not shield your eyes. In all things, it is absolute. One day, it nurtures life, and the next, scorches life away. It burns the skin of champions and wretches alike. Never does the sun show pity. That is the example a Sun King must follow. The example of your father. But before my instruction could take hold, she was there, clutching him to her robes, burying his face against her breast. How is a king to rule when he cannot even see? Every morning, I wake to the same nightmare. The same reality. Holy Meridian, in the hands of profligates. Debased. The spire, towering above the horizon like a glittering spike through the center of my mind. Every daybreak in exile is a mark of failure, but the count of days runs thin. I will see Meridian retaken, the profligates slaughtered, a true king restored to the Mesa throne. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy.
There we go. So I don't know if it's me being old and bitter, and
He's a fanatic, all right. Single-minded.
It gives him a focus that you seem to lack. Now how about finding that tall neck?
It would not have been easy to drag the tall neck down this path. Why bother?
Just find it and get to the top. Destroy the module and then get out fast as you can.
Sure is a lot of blasting up there. Sounds busy.
Busy enough not to notice you, let's hope.
so like maybe it's me being old and bitter, but like a lot of that meant nothing to me because I have no character to attach it to. 'Cause as far as I can remember, we have not met Helis or ever even heard of him at any point. And so this is like, those audio logs were like his introduction, essentially. And I feel like when I was younger, I used to love learning about new characters that way. But now I'm like, no, I need to know who they are. I need to have met them before. I need to have like some sort of visual of what they look like. Because then when I hear all this other backstory stuff, now we know all of his backstory and all of his motivations, and we don't even know who the fuck he is.
I see it. They've built some kind of structure around it.
Climate. The sooner this is done, the better.
Like, it feels out of
like
context. Because it is out of context. There's no
Everything
character.
here is wrong. Just get to the module.
I'm now
and
having to
destroy it.
construct this character based on these backstory logs. And I feel like it's just, I don't know. I think it's better use. It has a better use. Like, if we've met Helis at some point, or at least
I see
heard
the
of him
module.
before,
Good. Now be quick.
then it can give me some context. But it's like, oh, this guy named Helis, and he's a huge fanatic, and he's like running the shit, and so I'm like, okay.
It's a metal devil.
But at no
Open
point
the
has anyone
module's
ever mentioned his
casing
name before.
now. Aloy, do as I say or all is lost.
Maybe it's in some sort of like data log somewhere, like some of the world lore, for all I know, that I didn't read, but
Entity has come here. Entity miscalculated. Entity cannot destroy me. I am beyond its reach.
Maybe you are. But this isn't!
Destroy the entity.
how many there is over there, but that's a lot.
Oh. Yeah, you think? What do you think I'm doing? Taking a nap?
Oh, that's like 5 or 6.
No way.
I was busy looking at the enemies, not the terrain I'm supposed to be running over.
Keep moving or you'll die.
I mean, with the proper cover, I could kill these.
Are you kidding me?
Like, behind this rock, I could probably just hang up behind that rock and kill them.
Yeah, you think? What do you think I'm doing? Taking a nap? Oh. Brave trail. This looks easy. Almost out of it. Are you kidding me?
Don't fight. Keep moving.
I really didn't need that loot. I really didn't need it.
Come on.
Head left towards the camp.
Got it. Almost there.
The whole base is on high alert.
Yeah, I noticed.
Keep running! Watch out, there's more ahead.
Bridge in sight.
That's the way out.
I know.
Oh, she did. Game over. Oh. Alright, regular human would be dead there. That's okay. I really shouldn't even bother comparing any video game character to a real human, because we all know that everyone is superhuman in all of these games. It's really an unfair comparison. Even in the most realistic, grounded of games. And it's not even plot armor, it's just video games.
Rough going, but you survived.
You knew Hades was there and you sent me to him?
I won't deny I risked your life, but it was the only way. Now, with the focus network down, we can both get what we want. Access to the secrets of Zero Dawn.
I'm past trusting you with secrets.
Good. That means you're wising up. Trust is for fools. It shifts and crumbles like sand. A poor foundation for any partnership. But mutual self-interest, now that is a solid bedrock upon which you and I might build a new science of understanding. We both need answers, Aloy. And thanks to you, we're on the verge of grasping them. It's Sunfall. We'll speak again.
You miserable... Damn him.
He's a very smart man. A very wise man as well.
If I could toss this focus and be rid of you, Silence, I would. But we both know I need it. Sunfall it is. And Zero Dawn.
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Let's go!
Sunfall. The Mad King Duran's summer palace. A bulwark of Karja might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
But they have no idea what lies beneath. We will learn much from this, Aloy.
That's what I'm hoping.
Alright. Let's get a better silent strike. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, 35. So I need 34, because I have one already. I need 34 more points to get everything. I'm gonna manual save this. And then also quick save it. You can never save too much. Like, never ever. Also, do I have like another main quest? No. Level 21 as well. I'm 40.
I heard another one passed in the night.
How's my inventory? Is there anything I can like buy? I guess I'll rebuy some potions.
Gonna come in.
What in here that's like different things?
Andy?
Is that new? Have I ever fought that before?
The Sun Ring. The proud tradition of the Carja.
I have not
It's not like this
fought
in
one of
Meridian.
these.
At least.
Every time, I'm sure they miss it.
Wolf floater. Freeze canister, okay. Take it in the dick. I mean, it's got 6 on
Now
its
we get
back,
to see
so.
if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful. Success. Welcome to the Citadel, Aloy. I'll check back with you in a moment. In the meantime, circulate.
Outlanders, if you want to hear about today's bounties, head for the throne room. You're not going to make any shards by standing out here. Filthy mercenary bus.
Ceasefire.
I'll take the shards,
family is
even if it
starving.
means having to listen to Bahavas.
I hear the Shadow Cards are looking for one of their own. Should pay well.
Am I getting roped into this arena thing? I probably am.
We have nothing for you. Go on.
Pretty standard thing that happens. Anytime there's, if the arena exists, you're fighting in it.
By the glory of the sun revealed. Behold, radiant Edaman, the one true Sun King, the light in shadow, whose will is light and whose light is law.
I command Lucius Bahavas to speak in my behalf.
By the will of radiant Edaman does the sun glare down mercilessly upon the traitor Uthid. To the hunter who brings his head to us shall go a bounty of 500 shards.
Oh
More
man.
prisoners than royalty, don't you think? Love your hair.
Not only did the wretch conspire to
You and I need to
infiltrate
chat,
the Citadel
little huntress.
and assassinate
The green
one
tent
true
down
king,
in Shadowside.
but he refused
I'll
to
be waiting.
surrender when discovered
Kinda busy.
and fled. And in doing so, demonstrated wanton disregard for the safety
We both know
of
you're
the
no killer for
king's
hire.
subjects.
Uthid is innocent. So come see
Go
me
forth then,
while there's still time to save him.
do the will of the sun.
So, the way in I spoke of is right behind you.
You've got to be kidding.
Not at all. You needn't worry about the Kestrels. They'll be too busy acting important to pay attention to you.
First time in the Citadel, gotta see the sun ring from on high.
Well, the Kestrels.
Alright, so... What was his name? Vanala? That was a side quest? Vanasha. That's fine. We're focusing on Maine for the moment.
Ah, they want us to see this,
Eyes down,
boy.
Outlander.
It makes quite an impression.
This isn't...
The balustrade. It's a short drop from there.
The main thing I learned in this game is when you want to go down, you just press
The other
down.
side of the tower. Look for a vent.
And like a lot of other games, it's like you gotta press a button to like crouch. It's like the crouch button. That means, oh, just let go and you'll drop down. You don't do that in this game. You just jump off the wall.
I see you've been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride.
Is this the last quest? There must be more. Alright, I'm just gonna... Separate save. What? Fucking fast travel! There we go. "33 hours in. Fuck yeah.
Capable of abandoning us like
Alright, let's go. As long as I have a separate save, it'll be fine. I'm sure you can just continue and do all the side quests afterwards. Assuming this is like the end of the story, or it's just gonna be a long, involved near the end of the story, and then there's like a few quests afterwards to sort of finish it up. I'm assuming we're gonna learn about Zero Dawn here.
I'll come back later. That woman said to meet her at a green tent down in the camp. Might be worth a visit.
Well, let's try and get down without hurting. Hey, that's so much faster. The only thing I'm missing is like the best rattler, and I don't care enough right now.
I'm heading
Get that
down.
beforehand.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure. As year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan.
I'm still curious as to why that first
Genetic
one.
profile confirmed. Entry authorized.
Why did that first one say not close enough?
Malfunction.
Are you kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobeck here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, she probably didn't understand exactly what it was saying.
See, by now,
But yeah, I would have been like, no, we need to like move out of the way of the door.
Guess you can't have everything.
that will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now, will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators, fluent in Polish, for example, security staff, who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example, and dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, but we need help handling the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. Reception staff. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing ZD candidates. Zero Dawn candidates. When they arrive at this facility, many are frightened or confused. Some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators. The Langbots are not sufficient, and mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any support would be welcome. Perhaps we could start by responding to one of these emails? Maybe? There's both the upside and downside of emails in a professional environment.
Take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
On the one hand, it's really easy to just neglect things you don't want to deal with because it's just through an email, and then but then when you need something, it's easy for other people to neglect what you need and not respond to your emails. So it's like, it's such a double-edged sword. For the 5th time, please restock the lounge selections of herbal teas. For Vox's sakes. No tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes. Oh, that's funny. I assume there's a power cell here somewhere for that armor. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between Vera 1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet in the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates waiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought. What are they?
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
Zero Dawn definitely feels like a vault, sort of like, before I enter this room, what am I trying to say? Like a Fallout vault scenario on like a genetic cloning level. That's what I'm thinking.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
That would explain why I have such a resemblance to
I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day, the day that life on Earth ceases to exist, is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
Yeah, that's somewhat what I was thinking. It's like a vault storage of like stuff so that afterwards.
That doesn't make sense.
When the robots
Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
Yeah, when they run out of shit.
Stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it. Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
Listen to an audio log while we kill shit.
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said. Not really. I was on the Syzygy East response team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. After all these years, the red zone spreading on the imaging slowly, so slowly, like a hand. The red zone spreading on the imaging slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
What?
Really? Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse. Render the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
The data points, what do they contain?
Okay, I'm gonna I was like, oh, I could just listen to an audio log while I do this. No. Not only was I focused on fighting, the time slowdowns kept fucking with it. I hear that again.
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said. Not really. I was on the Syzygy East response team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since 57? That went nowhere real slow, and you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
It is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people. They feed off them?
Not just people. All organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Pike wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
Want to discuss?
Whew. So, Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, it was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malky was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place. You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed.
Blood coffee? What is he talking about?
Go. You previously worked for Pharaoh Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. thought there were no limits.
I think there is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
I know that there's already a lot to take in.
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm? The pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible. But it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die?
We're going to be able to answer some of these questions.
I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
So, this may be a nihilistic outlook, but there are so many stories and so many fictions depicting robots in particular, just like the fall of mankind, because we went too far, we're like, no limits, and all manner of like ways have been imagined as to what would happen. And the nihilistic part goes, it's gonna happen. Because somebody won't be able to help themselves. Somebody will do it. Somebody will cause the quote-unquote singularity to occur to make self-aware AI, or somebody will make a machine that can repair itself and like replicate itself and make other machines on its own. It's like somebody will do this either through fanaticism, scientific discovery, or corporate orders. Like somebody's gonna do it. And as it does to me, it doesn't matter how many fictions we have, it doesn't matter how many predictions we have, it doesn't matter how many discussions we have on the dangers, the potential dangers, it's still going to happen. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind it's going to happen. Probably not in our lifetime, maybe towards the end of our lifetime, who the fuck knows, but I mean, this is also assuming we live long enough, because we could just kill ourselves. Social unrest. So, like, who the fuck knows? But makes me sad that it just seems unavoidable.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Mrs. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Harris said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
That's our guidelines. Candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh Plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, an unfeasibility of maintaining life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. If a candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus, security, medical crisis teams are... Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I got everything. Should I take this with me? I probably can't.
My turn.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life. For us. But why Hades then?
Yeah, I was about to bring that
If
up.
it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Make your selection. You're now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. 1. Participation. You will be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family, or 2 persons of your choosing, will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. 2. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted to contact. You will not be permitted contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released. Or medical euthanasia. The information you have just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you're ready to make your choice, or if you have further questions. Maybe Hades got corrupted. Maybe it's the original Pharaoh Plague somehow. Maybe that's what Hades is. Maybe Hades is something that was originally... Did we see the name Hades when in the cutscene? Because they were all named after gods, right? It didn't say Hades in there? Okay. It's vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection, validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses, emphasize the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, the candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those loved ones beyond 0 day. Validate their hesitation. Acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethical misgivings toward greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to review Dr. Sobet's presentation as many times as they wish to allow access to supplemental articles GA1 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It is important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period during which counselors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent, and the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against her or his will. Hades was shown but not explained what it was for. It was on the list? I wasn't looking out for it, so I didn't end up reading all the names. I could just replay it.
All right. You've heard the bad news.
I want to replay the visual, not the... Alright, so it's a corrupted whatever.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what I The damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom? I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. This kind of blue skying, it's...
Blue sky?
I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What are you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
If you're still nauseous.
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timo. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You'd grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry.
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
What are these shackles? Is it just like... Is it a special thing? Is that one of the... Is that a nuke thing? Hold on. Is it a collectible? Alright, I got random shackles. Did it say anything else? No. It's just mysterious, smooth shackles. Can I go through this? I mean, I can, but there's nothing in here.
Should give me the upper hand. Now this thing is dangerous.
I'm bringing this with me until I absolutely cannot.
Intruder! Get her!
Whatever you
think. I knew it would come in handy. Okay. It's not very accurate. Alright, now I have like a bunch of full ammo ones. Anyway, I just wanted to loot. Yo, them potions. I knew it was coming. I was like, in one of these next rooms, I'm gonna have to fight more enemies.
Hello.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe anyway.
So if you were one of these people being brought onto the Zero Dawn project, what would you choose? Would you be like, oh, I'll do work, or no, just confine me, or just euthanize me? What would you do afterwards?
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Sauvé? Christina Sauvé?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair, not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art,
Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
You would help. I would help too. And then I would live in Elysium. You'd need some time. I probably wouldn't need like if we were being plagued by the Pharaoh plague in real life, and then I was dragged away, and they're like, "You need help with this," I would be like, I feel like I would make the decision quickly, but it would like prey.
Another one of these.
A lot of heavy thoughts would prey on my mind for a while.
Configuration.
But I definitely would like.
Hey,
be like, will you help? I'll be like,
I'm
yeah.
done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby.
Okay, I don't need this right now. Alright, I'm gonna assume this one is forwards, and that the other one is backwards.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
Much of the realization that many as we know it is doomed. There's no hope for everyone on the planet to live and propagate. That's some heavy shit. That is heavy shit. I suppose to lose all hope in the face of an apocalypse is pretty devastating. But it's like we're presenting some crazy ass potential option to like not have us survive, but have something survive. I would just be like, all right, let's do it.
Found one. Looks intact.
It doesn't seem like a hard decision to make. Because it's like, what else are you gonna do? Euthanize? What for? Like, what good did that do?
That should do the trick. Now let's get that door open.
I see, it's upside down. I see. Up and that one goes right. It would help, but you probably break down first.
That did it. Door should have power.
Now
which door is this for?
Beyond it.
Oh, there's another door back here. Right. No, my fire starter! That door's gonna be locked behind me, isn't it?
They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia, it's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Oh my god. Right, so I can't, because I don't have leader strike, I can't silent strike the ones with skulls on their heads. That guy's fucking stuck. Dumbass. his face.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, that almost one-shot him.
Are you going to hide like a coward?
Yes. Alright, if they go that way, it's gonna be on fire.
What was that?
Where's his face? Oh. God damn it.
Nothing there.
It's really hard to see this guy's. I can't see him at all. I can kind of see him. I'm aware there's a dude to my right. How did you miss everything? Really? I was just guessing based on the marker.
H-lock structure failure. Repeat.
Or not.
Coming for him.
This is the perfect place for like these tripwires.
The sun can't save you now.
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
But get moving. You have to find Gaia.
What if Alo is some kind of failsafe? That would make sense in terms of Hades. Considering like it keeps calling us the entity and we're based off of Sobek's DNA. I suspect that's what we are. We're like a failsafe for corruption. We're like an anti-corruption.
Alert.
We're antivirus software, effectively.
Access.
I have a long-lost brother named Norton. Alright, there's no, like, things. Okay.
This might even the odds.
Just pop. Yeah, and, like, presumably popping out of a mountain and all that. This looks cool. Simulation results. You weren't kidding about Guy's predilection for animal morphology, sure. Not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind, as though she's already mourning their loss. Not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too, references to megafauna in some of her designs. So cool! Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes.
I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulations, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, a Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
Why indeed? Margot, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. Yet you are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail, consult with Iamide Okilo before you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So any exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. I currently have the most medicine I've ever had. There's nothing over there. It's just you. And again, I am bringing these guns with me. I don't care if they give me this long-ass hallway to run through. Maybe Hades is actually guy in the air is all like, fuck these human things. Maybe.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
Yes.
More Eclipse.
Careful
I
now.
knew it. Ah, okay. 4 bars is the max. We've achieved max medicine for the first time. Right when I said, I don't care if it gives me a long hallway to go down, it gives me a long hallway to go down.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world, ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just
Did they just break the fourth wall?
of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
I think they just broke the fourth wall and went all meta. I don't think I'm pretty sure. Over the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions, magnetic, optical, quantum. Even that Eternity tech that Foss has shilling a year or so ago, but every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install, need a lot of space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 340 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40 plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems in sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 plus years. So long as I assure you that it didn't factor into my decision, may I confess that I deem it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, that we'll be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time, peace be with you. Did they? Well, when they talked about gamifying the interface of Apollo as part of, like, the terraforming initiative, what if that's Aloy? What if the whole purpose of being an entity is to, like, assist in the terraforming and make sure nothing goes wrong? Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, culture data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed the goal from the outset. With attendant curricula development about to begin. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing with children and adolescents, demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Law wouldn't really be Aloy without getting that focus as a child. Suppose. But if she was born from the mountain and thus born as an entity to serve Gaia, her curiosity would have eventually found her a focus, right? Like, even if she didn't find one as a kid, she may have eventually found one as an adult. Hi, I have a gun.
Get eyes on him. There's some.
Dang.
On once more.
In what should have been a cave of wonders. Look around. See if anything is left.
Well, that was easy.
Full already.
Alright, I desperately need to pee, and I also haven't taken a break in 3.5 hours. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay. I am back. Back again. Alright, I already looted these. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep my gun, because I have to go up ladders? Or do I even have to? Oh! Oh! Oh!
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions.
What? I didn't want to stop it.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's just my objective. I was like, what was this box when I went on break?
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's Extinction Failsafe Protocol. The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia 200 years from now and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing. Coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. A spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocating. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
No, yeah, okay. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bash Core? Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bash Core is straight up lying, and you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle-dazz, Heck, I'd rather guzzle leader a sitter and run off than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds, hand to God and swear on my mama's grave, and she was religious. No, that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, writing folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classical music. 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal-themed stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen. Or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore you'll see. Or hear, rather. The screech that rends the air, and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling swelling you up like it was Jonah trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. Hallelujah! As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal? Might as well give up stimulants, chocolate melts, and industrial accident vids. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? No, I don't think so. Stay cool, Trav. I am the Trav. These protocol. Tate here just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Guy's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business, so I had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky. I swear ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity, then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on pretty strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are pretty strong. Guess it's time to sleep in bed. I'll back it tomorrow, alligators. Archive abuse. From Samina to Tate. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo Archive submission Whatever, your 666th submission in just 5 days. And oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings re inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved, extreme perhaps, but art. 2, for clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous... Judge Potter? Oh boy. Judge Pot... I don't know where my brain went with that. Famous utterance. Who was... Okay, never mind. I know it when I see it. Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I've directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing for the submissions on, oh, I don't know, your assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem, to say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Yay, the ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I've spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation, astonishing. I don't know what you had to give for Zenith and trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO resolved. Nutrition delivery resolved. Hormonal stability resolved. 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand, but if the rest of FZ's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours and then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours.
Are these what I think they are?
Development of the artificial personae for cradle servitors Nurturer, disciplinarian, healer continues at a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. They should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer personae. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings.
Artificial wombs. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
Okay. Luthia 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Ping back from crucial systems is good. For our maiden voyage, a success. Regards, my disputes with the beta's overzygote selection. Of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow on our future humans. But we can all agree there is a margin for refinement in future cradle populations. Donc, in addition to personally overseeing completion of a Luthia 02 site inside Mount Nemuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. I didn't miss any.
Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted Alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
I lost my gun. Why did I have to lose my gun? Well, this feels like a combat area. Might not be, but feels like it.
Us would benefit from antilopine morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good. You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I'm saying is give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Interesting. Okay, during one of the things, Aloy mumbled to herself about an object. Something or other. Okay, I straight up... Oh, just my weapons. Oh, okay. Maybe I should go up to the door? It's like in D&D when like there's a door in front of you and everyone's like, is it trapped? Is it locked? I don't know. And then like, it's like, I opened the door. It was unlocked. Like, it's one of those situations. Odyssey has failed. Some terrible news, I'm afraid. Far Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo, all were lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed. That's unfortunate. Artemis status. Coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. If those words can still mean anything. Had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas suspended in what-ifs, more than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We've started mapping out primary succession, selecting the pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere. Microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves. Thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them. So they can return to a world that, this time, will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. There's already been too many too lates. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. Samples we lost were, well, irreplaceable. But thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday it will be again, but not now, not like this, not on our watch.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
It would have been funny if that window held. He just blew himself up.
Still alive.
Oh.
Good. I have a more suitable death in mind for you, child. My entire life, I've always known one thing with prophetic certainty. That I was destined for glory as a great champion of the sun. Even when Jiran was murdered, even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why? With each dig site you attacked, each loyal soldier you killed, this pestering doubt grew. I kept thinking of the moment my knife pierced your throat. One twist, a simple tug of the blade, and you would have bled out. In slaughter, I am a practiced hand. So why hesitate? Why fail my destined purpose?
See that scar on your cheek? You didn't get to finish.
Yes, I remember. He fought well.
Oh, did we see him at the beginning of the game?
His name was Rost, and he was a better man than you could ever hope to be.
Oh, I forgot.
The better man is the one who doesn't end up with his guts steaming on the ground. No, it wasn't him. I could have finished you before he attacked. But I didn't. This failing troubled my thoughts.
Well, now I look like an idiot going on and on about
it was only
context of backstory.
Down in that place that I finally glimpsed the sun's design etched at length across the course of events. You were meant to survive that day on the mountain. Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined and preordained.
You're an idiot. A dangerous idiot, but an idiot. All this talk of destiny and fate. I'm sure Hades speaks the same language, doesn't he? You're being played for a fool. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to one cause. Shadow to sun, dark to light.
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then embrace Cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed. Every element is in its proper place, exactly where it belongs. The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal. Oh, speaking of sacrifice, I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land. I ordered every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
Why butcher dozens of innocents for no gain? It's a waste of effort.
You're right. I won't even be there to enjoy it. In any case, I couldn't recall the order even if I wished to. Thanks to your destruction of the network, communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe. Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events? Your focus, such a powerful device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile. So you see, this time,
did you just get sexual pleasure from breaking my focus? Like, what just fuck just happened there?
The knife has already been twisted.
I knew we were going to end up fighting in here. There was no way around it. Of course we're going to fight in here.
Karja faithful, rejoice! Our years in shadow are over. A new dawn trembles on the horizon. A new day soon to break. And when it does, the false Sun King will be dead, and Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, light to dark, night to day. Behold! Hold your seats! Can you not see the proof of the sun's blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause? Many years ago, to consecrate this great ring, the Radiant Tyrann ordered many faithless, crushed beneath the hooves of the behemoth. Mighty is the behemoth in the eye of the sun, but it is mightier still, infused with the power of shadow. Let this one, who schemed and slithered, be the first to die. Let her be the first of thousands!
So I also have no equipment. Oh, we did. We super did.
I'll never beat that thing without weapons. My weapons are up on the platform. There's no way out of this ring. Maybe I could use its strength against it. That pillar's weak. Another hit, and that pillar will come down. That makes a mess. Getting ready to charge. It's down.
Oh. Oh. Oh, it's fine. No focus, but...
Hey! Guess who got a weapon?
Alright. Melee.
Now you're just a big dumb target. Come and get it! That canister in its belly. Looks important.
I think that might be a freeze canister.
Freeze canister on its hips. Cryo arrow should set it off. Maybe those carcasses have parts I can use.
Parts I can use. I have thousands of like resources. What are you talking about? Can I not crit it? I don't know what removing its belly did, but maybe it couldn't like shoot rocks at me anymore.
Shadows, kill her. Kill her!
Why leave it to them? Come get me yourself!
Finally did a thing. Man, the audience is like, oh my god, what a spectacle. Best show I've ever seen. This implies that he overrid those Ravagers or Sawtooths, or which I always mix up Ravagers and Sawtooths. That implies he overrid those.
So you're here. Really here. You risked your life.
Of course I did. If you'd been killed, the Nora's sacred mountain would never have given up its secrets.
Too bad you wasted your time then. Helis destroyed my focus. And the Alpha Registry with it.
Not at all. The whole time I've been monitoring your focus, I duplicated every data file you scanned. Installing that data to a new focus was trivially easy. Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
You're really good at making it impossible to like you, Silence. But I guess I need this.
It's time to see where you were born. Maybe you'll even learn why.
Yeah. Meet the machine that birthed me into this world. Isn't that how you put it?
I'll be off.
Wait.
Yes?
Since when can you override machines?
Ever since you discovered the technique. I had to destroy a corruptor to obtain the necessary parts, of course. But your example showed me how to do that as well. Yet another benefit of monitoring your activities through your focus. Truth be told, the underlying logic of the technique isn't so different from rites practiced by Banuk shamans. Though, of course, far more advanced. Great. You're welcome, I guess. How did you track my location when I wasn't wearing a focus? Really, Aloy? It doesn't take a genius to surmise that Helis would throw you into the sun ring at high noon. I wore out 2 striders getting here in time, but I did. Now be on your way. Helis recognized you back in the sun ring. You told me that you'd assisted the eclipse. Not that you knew the man who killed who almost killed me. So now you know. The man is a serious threat. So let's do all we can to make sure that he and Hades don't succeed. Right. I'll be on my way. To make matters worse, Helis ordered an Eclipse detachment to attack the Nora Sacred Land. The tribe's already weak. They won't stand a chance. You should come with me. Well, absolutely not. I have preparations to make elsewhere. What kind of... Why do I bother asking? You're not gonna tell me. When the time is right, I'll be in touch. I'll contact you later. In the meantime, should you need to return to Shadow Karja territory, I brought armor to conceal your identity. You think of everything, don't you? One of us has to. Aloy, when you were recovering the Alpha Registry down in the Zero Dawn bunker, I was needlessly cruel. For your sake, I hope there is someone waiting there for you inside the mountain. Not a what, but a who. Yeah!
All right.
I'll find a use for you.
Oh, level 41 now.